Make sure you guys can still all hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up. Yay, awesome. Thank you. Always have to do a sound check from now on before we move forward. Well, I do want to thank you all for joining us this evening. 33 years ago when I was introduced to Neolife, I didn't have kids, but I worked with a lot of guys with kids. As you know, I was a police officer in Toronto, and it was interesting. I had struggled as a young teenager and into my 20s with fatigue and PMS and, some hormonal issues. And I really struggled with stress at my job. But it was kind of neat because as I was, working on the police force, I was meeting a lot of young families. And I remember that they were always complaining about the kids being sick all the time with ear infections and always have to be on antibiotics. And so it was kind of, I was listening, but I wasn't really paying attention because I didn't have kids. I just thought, oh, that's normal, right? But as my journey went on and I was introduced to Neolife and I started taking these amazing products, my immune system just turned around completely. I was using antihistamines year round, and I was sleeping with Kleenex on my nose because I had a constant nasal drip that wasn't very attractive. But I remember just feeling tired all the time. And when I started taking these amazing products and I shared it with my mom, who was really struggling with a lot of pain with fibromyalgia, the products just really turned her health around. And I just started to share. And now with my kids being 23 and 25, Jack and Luke, I'm not saying they never got sick, but they never had to go on antibiotics, and we were able to fight things off a lot faster. And I'm going to share some of their journey as we go through the presentation. But good nutrition plays a key role in how our kids develop in mental health, in injury and recovery and immunity when they're around kids that are sick all the time. And when you look at what kids are eating and what they aren't eating, it does play a really big role. And I'm so grateful to have our holistic nutritionist with us here this evening, Maryellen, who has children of her own and grandkids, is going to share some of the experiences she's had as well. So we're going to talk about how to fill their gaps, their nutritional gaps, and, and some of the challenges we're having with our kids today. And my slides are frozen. 1 second. Oh, here we go. So the nutritional foundation for a lifetime of healthy mind and body. And that's what we're going to focus on this evening, because when you look at, creating optimal health for our children, we have to look at all areas. For example, rest, right? They need to have proper rest and sleep. They need to be active and exercise. You need to look at the food that they're eating, what they're not eating, what they are eating, and hygiene, making sure that they wash their hands with soap. And I was talking to Maryellen earlier, and she said that she has a little trick she plays with her grandkids, and she tells them to sing happy birthday while they're washing their hands. And because some kids will just trickle their hands, literally trickle under the water and walk away. So, really try to help your kids understand the importance of proper hand washing. And our nutritional needs are great for kids because their body weight doubles many times from birth. Young tissues and organs are developing. Their cognitive learning skills are developing. Metabolic rates are very, very high. Their energy demands are enormous, and nutrient-rich diet is essential. Really important to look at what your kids are eating. And poor diets equal poor health. Okay. When you look at what's going on around the world, obesity, 1 in 5 in Canada are overweight. There's a lot of kids struggling with skin conditions like acne and eczema. And then you're looking at ear infections and antibiotic use and allergies, just the common colds and flus. I mean, sometimes colds can linger for weeks. I know, whenever my kids would get a bit of a sniffle, I'd just give them extra vitamin C and, cut back a little bit on some of the sugar that they might be consuming. I know that's hard sometimes for our kids, and they would get over it so much faster. And then you're looking at kids that have trouble with ADD, ADHD, hyperactivity, diabetes, and more. We're going to be talking about some of these throughout the presentation. So when you're looking at cellular nutrition is critical. It all starts at the cellular level. Children produce 1 billion cells each day, and our body has over 73 trillion cells. So healthy cells process nutrients and provide energy. Sick cells steal energy and cause disease. So when you look at the cell on the left, the nutrients are trying to get in, the toxins are trying to get out. You got kind of these kind of sluggish, tired cells. We're going to talk about why the cells are like that and how we can get these cells working properly, like the one on the left or the right, where nutrients are going in and waste is going out. So let's talk about some of the facts. So 90% of children do not eat the recommended 5 or more portions of fruits and vegetables every day. 1 in 5 eat no food at all. And of all age gender groupings, adolescents have the poorest intake of their needs of nutrient-rich diets and are greater than at any other point. So it really, really is a challenge. Many people I've talked to have very, very picky eaters. So facts, the average intake of whole grains among children is less than 1 serving per day. And most children frequently consume junk food, carbonated soft drinks. Children and teens have diets that are high in added sugars, and only 20% use a multivitamin and a mineral supplement. So let's look at what dictates food choices. Well, let me tell you, you see what's on TV and on commercials and what kids are exposed to on a daily basis with all these ads. And, fast foods are full of fat. Snacks are packed with sugar, a lot of skip meals, right? There's no nutrients in that. And then you look at the soft drinks that are full of sugar and phosphates. And so sugar in the immune system, we're going to talk a little bit about that because this is a real challenge. When you look at the special occasions like around Halloween or Christmas or Easter, and you get a lot of, oh, my kids are sick again, usually around the holidays or around that time. And that's usually when they're consuming more of these lovely sweets. And sugar can ruin your health. I mean, there was an author that wrote a book on Lick the Sugar Habit, and sugar can suppress your immune system and impair your defenses against infectious disease. The immune suppressing effect of sugar starts less than 30 minutes after ingesting and lasts approximately 5 hours. And sugar causes food allergies. It can contribute to anxiety and depression. And sugar can ruin your health, especially if you're eating too much. I always say, kids need to have treats, but some kids eat these things every single day. Okay, so really treat it as a sometimes food is what I like to call it, and treat it as a treat, because sugar can cause a rapid rise of adrenaline, hyperactivity, anxiety, difficulty concentrating, crankiness in children, and it can reduce the learning capacity in children as well. And now we're going to have our lovely Shelley Sheridan share Mitchell's journey, because when I met Shelley, she shared some of the challenges she had as a young mom and the challenges she had with Mitchell. So Shelley, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Nada. Yes, sugar has always been a big story for both Mitchell and I. And I'm going to say, I grew up always having desserts and enjoying different carbs and sugars. So when Mitchell was born, that was kind of like the style of what I did when we were raising him. And so, it started out as a baby when he was younger, having, a few issues. And then he got to be about 9 and he was having stomach pains with his digestion. And he was, I would call him my carb kid, because he loved his pastas and he loved his bagels and he desserts for sure, and then sweets. And we went through all the medical route to figure out what was going on. They did find that he had a blockage in his intestine. So we cleared that, and I figured, yeah, good to go, off we go. Well, it reared its head again when he was 17, because we really didn't, we fixed the symptom, but we didn't fix the issue underneath. So he had digestive issues that ended up with irritable bowel syndrome. And then we tried to figure it out. And I know, because of the help from the community with you guys, we happened to be at a meeting and I was asking about, he had heat rashes and things. And about 3 people said, oh, well, that's candida. And I hadn't heard of that before, which is linked with the yeast and the sugar and everything. So that kind of started our journey of trying to figure out what in the world was happening with his system. And a lot of it came down to, the amount of sugars that he was consuming, as well as myself. So we started the healing process kind of at the same time. And And now, fortunately, we've been able to balance a lot of things with him. He does have a sensitive, I'm going to say, system because of the irritable bowel syndrome, and he knows certain foods that he shouldn't eat. But if I were to show a picture of him when he was 9 years old and then 13 years old, he certainly does not look anything like that strong young man who can now lift those huge weights and is training to be a firefighter, just because he now absorbs his food and gets good nutrition into his body. So definitely making changes in the diet, figuring out how that sugar is affecting you, and then conquering it, I'm going to say, and I know you guys are going to be talking about that as well tonight, has made a huge difference in his life.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you for sharing. And, even Dr. Arthur First, who's head of our scientific advisory board, and he's the founding member of Emeritus. And I mean, his journey as a scientist, I mean, he really stresses that, when young bodies' nutritional requirements are greatest, many fail to obtain all the nutrients they need each day. Deficiencies of vital nutrients can inhibit not only physical growth, but internal development, mental performance, and repair and maintenance of developing tissues. Immune systems can be depressed as well, leaving the child more vulnerable to infection and disease. And that's why it's so important as parents to support this and to help them understand that this is important. We have to make sure that we take control. And Maryellen, I'm going to bring our holistic nutritionist on, because I know this is something that the Canadian Food Guide made a huge change back in 2019, which we're so happy about. But I don't think most children's plates look like this, do they, Maryellen?
No, that's for sure. And I was so happy when they made this change, because as you can see, half your plate should be all those dark color fruits and vegetables. A quarter should be good quality protein, and a quarter whole grains. And of course, water, your drink of choice. And as we know, some kids are great eaters, but you get those picky eaters. And one of my granddaughters was like that. And you have to be very creative in finding ways to get those fruits and vegetables into her diet. That's for sure. So, And we do want to drink a lot of water. And this is very important for kids too, because why? Well, you think our brain is 75% water. You can get dehydrated, it can cause muscle cramps, and kids get a lot of these issues too. And I know my daughter-in-law, she kind of does a trick. Depending on how old you are, that's how many sips of water you kind of have to have every hour, because we do have to remind our kids to drink water, because they forget. They get busy, they play, and before you know it, they've gone hours and haven't had anything to drink, and all they want to drink is a lot of juice and sweet stuff. So it's very important for them to get good quality filtered water. And children also need the macronutrients, which are your protein, carbohydrates, and fat from whole food sources. Very, very important. They need the same nutrients as us, and actually oftentimes in higher amounts, because you think they're growing so quickly, their cells are duplicating so fast. And they also need those phytonutrients, the protective nutrients from the fruits and vegetables. And they're saying 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And I know some kids who the only thing they'll eat is a French fry or an apple, right? They don't eat all those dark color fruits and vegetables, and they're so important. And there actually was a study showing that a multivitamin mineral improves attention, because things like iron and zinc, they actually help children think. So it's so important that you fill these gaps of what they're not getting in their diet with a good quality multivitamin, and the research is proving it. So what are some of the issues that kids have? Well, influenza, or commonly known as the flu, and as we know, that's caused by a virus. So again, I know Don Lawson used to say, if your immune system is strong and you have all the nutrients, you can crack a code to a virus in like 20 minutes, right? How does it spread? By respiratory droplets, through coughing, sneezing, direct contact with contaminated surfaces. And one of the big ways to stop this, as Nana talked earlier, is get your children to wash their hands properly. Very, very, very important. And fevers, right? A fever is actually a normal response to the body. Like, that's how the body tries to fight the infection. They're a lot more common in kids because their body is developing their immune system. And but a good sort of trick is don't just treat the thermometer, treat the child, right? So your child's behavior is the best indicator when something is wrong. So if it's a very mild fever, you don't always have to give them, Advil or Tylenol right away. If it gets too high, obviously, absolutely, because you don't want any danger, but you don't have to panic just with a very, very slight fever, because that's the body actually healing itself. Ear infections, oh, so common in children. And they're due to the structural development of the ear. But it's interesting because they actually find that 80% of ear infections will get better without antibiotics, especially if they're caused from a virus. Sometimes it's caused from secondary infection. If they've had a cold for a long period of time, it goes into the ear. And it's very, very important to get the good bacteria into your child's system to fight off infections, because if their immunity is stronger, it helps prevent them from getting these infections. Like I know my granddaughters, they've never been on antibiotics, or if they do get something, they maybe feel off for a day or two. Not saying they never get sick, but they don't never go into secondary infection or get really ill. And food allergies, that's a big one. You hear so many kids with food allergies now. It's increasing in severity. And it's interesting because 27% of kids with food allergies also have eczema. And that was my son. He had allergies and he'd have a patch on his hip. And less than 30% of children with food allergies also have respiratory allergies. So, it starts going into their chest and causing a lot of problems. The common food allergies are like milk, eggs, peanuts, soybeans, wheat, tree nuts, fish, and shellfish. But now there's a lot more that you're hearing kids are allergic to, but these are kind of the 8 common ones. So let's talk a little bit about asthma. That was my son's problem when I was introduced to Neolife, 29 years ago. My son had severe respiratory issues, and I had tried so many different products. And every time I went to the doctor, it was another inhaler, and I didn't know what to do. And it was actually when I started, not that the Neolife products, treated his disease, cured it, or diagnosed it, but it was interesting when he got on the products, his immune system balanced. And it probably took a good 6 months. I'll say to people, give these products 3 to 6 months. They're not miracle things. And it completely turned his health around. In fact, today he is a firefighter and he's been on the fire department for 17 years now. And, and has no issues at all. But let's look at some of the stats. 5.1 million children in North America under the age of 18 suffer with asthma. And I know a lot of David's friends who weren't on the products, they still have asthma to this day, because especially if it's allergy induced, you don't usually grow out of it. It's more the viral one. And an average of 1 in 12 children have asthma. So it's a huge problem out there. And hyperactivity. Oh my gosh, there's so many kids have so much trouble focusing in school. And there's so much that you can do to help your kids with this. And what's the solution? Well, healthy lifestyle and preventative strategies. You want, as Nana mentioned, get that sugar out of their diet, get them eating the best they can, and supplement with products made from whole food concentrates that are based in nature and backed by science. So there's nutrition for all 3 stages of growth and development. So the Children's Nutritional Program delivers optimal nutrition for healthy cells. Remember, Nana talked about those cells and strong immune systems, because that's essential for building strong, healthy bodies so that our kids will, grow up to be healthy. And I love working with kids because if you can start them young and get them healthy, it gives them such a better result later on. So Nana, would you like to share how we can fill these gaps of these whole grains?
Yeah, because even as adults, Maryellen, this is something that we're struggling and don't get enough in our diet, and our kids are now, I think, 3rd generation not having these good fats that are found in grains, because our grains are no longer whole. Our grains are milled and processed. They used to grind our wheat, when it was all whole, and process our flour and make our breads and grain products. And, our breads only had a day shelf life. When you look at our breads now, experiment with it. Buy even those flat breads. Like sometimes I'll buy those pita breads and flat breads, and I'll leave it you know, in their fridge, and 3 weeks later you go to look at it and there's no mold on it. You're like, why is it not going bad? It's not spoiling. It's not even stale. It's kind of scary. But anyways, I learned this over 33 years ago. I didn't know that they were milling these critical oils out of the grain so that our breads could have a longer shelf life. And in these fats that they remove, these grain oils are called essential fatty acids. And there was a doctor, Dr. Segal, made a powerful statement. And he said these essential fatty acid deficiency is perhaps the most important health problem in America. Like, we're not getting these grain oils in our diet. And it's kind of scary. And that's why our breads last weeks, our cereals last, you know, years, and our pasta lasts forever. So it's because they have removed what goes bad. And these are essential. So Neolife developed a product 65 years ago, back in 1958, called Tran Grain Concentrate. And I started taking this because of my hormones and energy. And when I heard the grain oil story, I thought maybe this is why I was so tired and why I had all these hormonal things going on. And when I started taking this product 33 years ago, in 1 month, the turnaround in my hormones was incredible. So these grain oils, they're called lipids and phytosterols from whole grains, less gluten than a bowl of gluten-free cereal. So if people have sensitivities to gluten and wheat, they can take this product because there's none of that in here. Developed for a hospital research study, and it helps with cellular energy and efficiency. Remember, we were talking about 73 trillion cells? Well, if they're not working efficiently, you're not going to feel the greatest. And how Tran works, it surrounds every single cell in your body. Get to keep that cell membrane soft and permeable so nutrients can go in and waste can go out. So if you're not getting these oils in your diet, which we know we're not because they take it out of our food, you get the cell on the left. Nutrients are trying to get in, waste is trying to get out, not like the cell on the right. So that's why so many people are struggling and our kids have weaker immune systems. So I was so excited when I had my babies, Jack and Luke. They were on the Liquivite. But what's even more important is they were getting the products when I was carrying them, which is awesome. But this liquid vitamin for babies, it contains the Tran grain concentrates for cellular energy and nutrition. It includes whole food flavonoids and carotenoids, which is from your fruits and vegetables for immunity. And it provides a full day's supply of 12 of the most important vitamins. It's easy to take, suitable for infants, toddlers, and even adults that can't swallow, which is kind of cool. And it's in a liquid form. There's nothing artificial, okay? No artificial anything, sweeteners, no flavors or preservatives added. This is like such an incredible product. When you look at some of the stuff that's out there on the shelf, you wouldn't want to be giving it to your babies. And this is completely safe. And I'm going to have a quick little video. This is Clark.
Oh, no, you don't need the capsule. Not quite yet. Are you chewing yours, Marley?
Just got her Liquivite bottle. She's asking for it.
Good girl.
There it is. She wants it. So it does taste good. And so once they go from the liquid and they start getting some teeth and they start chewing, then you can upgrade to the Vita Squares. And this also helps to feed the cells because just like the Liquivite, it has those grain oils. Nobody has it. Nobody. We're the only company that has it. And it was proven to absorb 50% more of the nutrients from your food. It's just proven, clinically proven, loaded again with all those vitamins and minerals and nutrients that are important for mental health. And it's chewable, completely natural with fruit essences, so not sugar, and no artificial, again, anything, no artificial colors, sweeteners, flavors, preservatives added. I know, Maryellen, we were talking about those gummies that kids are chewing that are loaded with, oh my gosh, when you look at the what's in those products, it's like, oh, and you know what, what's sad is there's not much of a choice out there for parents to get their kids. So this is such an incredible product. And then we have the Vita Guard. And that's like your fruits and vegetables, your antioxidants, and it's kind of like a berry citrus flavor. It's a little more tart and tangy, great for the immune system. It's got the carotenoids and flavonoids, which are from fruits and vegetables for the immune system, zinc, selenium, again, for immunity, and no artificial anything in this product. So the two chewable forms are the Vita Squares and the Vita Guard. And then we're looking at breakfast. Now, this is an incredible product for the whole family. But when you look at what kids are doing for breakfast today, or have in the past, I mean, what do most kids eat for breakfast? Sometimes it's nothing. Usually it's a cereal of some kind, or carbohydrate, like carbs, like you've got your pancakes, your waffles. Where's the protein? Kids need protein for growth and development. So important. When you look at the Neolife shake, it's so delicious. It's a wholesome protein drink. It's safe for babies, safe for kids, complete protein. It mixes in water, so easy. You can shake it in a shaker cup. My kids now make it on their own. If you put it in a blender, you can even disguise spinach in the chocolate. It doesn't even change the color of the chocolate Neolife shake. So there's so many things that you can do. But I love this product because it's made from food and there's nothing artificial. Tastes great and helps with brain function, tissue repair, cell repair. Maryellen, I know these are your grandkids. I know, my kids were drinking in a sippy cup too. So yeah, your kids and your grandkids have grown up on this amazing protein drink, and it's no artificial, nothing artificial, no high fructose corn syrup or preservatives or gluten. And again, it's 90% lactose free, no GMO ingredients, and that's really important as well. But what's also important when you look at the rise of diabetes in our kids today, type 1, type 2 even, this protein shake is proven to get your blood sugar in that glycemic control zone. It prevents fat storage, promotes fat burning, but for energy, for mental clarity, such an incredible product. And I have to say that this is a lifesaver for many parents today, especially if their kids are on the run and on the go and playing in different sports. It's just such an easy product to make. And there is a vegan option, especially if kids do have allergies to soy or dairy. Then this is just a great option. And I have to say, this does taste pretty good compared to some of the other plant-based protein shakes on the market. Now, another important nutrient for kids, and this is something that's very dear to my heart. I mean, this product really helped me with my joint pain, and my mom with her joint pain as well. But it's so important for kids, and especially for moms during pregnancy. The fetus makes 250,000 nerve cells every minute. And at 6 weeks, half the weight of the fetus is brain weight. By the third trimester, 70% of the energy reserves of the fetus are directed towards brain development. And it takes about 4 years for a mother to replenish her supply of DHA depleted by her fetus. So this is so important. And DHA is the king of brain fats and governs almost every conceivable mental function. So what's on the rise? We're having so many, parents saying ADD, ADHD, hyperactivity, problems focusing, concentrating. This plays a very, very big role. And it enhances brain function and memory, improves dyslexia, again, ADD, improves concentration and learning, decreases aggressiveness and irritability, improves moods by upregulating serotonin. So this is another essential fat. So you have your two fats, you have your grain oils, your lipids, and then you have your EPA and DHA, which is so important for our kids. And I have to say that this product is so important to me. These are my boys, Jack and Luke. In this picture, Jack is probably only about 6'4". He's 6'6" now. So he fell backwards down a flight of stairs about 3 years ago, and he cracked his brain. They airlifted him to Hamilton Brain Injury Clinic. And I was a mess because we couldn't see him. It was a month after the pandemic. And I was like a walking zombie. And all I could do is I wanted to think about was to contact the doctors at the hospital to see if I can put Jack on the products. And when I contacted the brain surgeon, he said to me, Mrs. St. Germain, we have Jack on an omega-3. He said it plays a critical role in brain injury recovery because it reduces inflammation. And I was like, holy moly, I just wanted to go jump through the phone and give him a hug. And I said, but I would love to put Jack on ours. And when I explained it to him, he said, just send me the ingredient list. He approved the products, a few products that I wanted to put Jack on. And originally they gave Jack a 6-month window of recovery with rehab. 6 months. And when I talked to John Miller, one of our scientists, John Miller said to me, Nada, has Jack been on the products his whole life? I said, his whole life. He said, he will probably recover a third of the time faster because of the nutrition he had as a child. So that's why it's so important for our children to have these nutrients to keep the inflammatory index low. And our salmon oil was published and proven to reduce inflammation 68% in just 8 weeks. Jack was home in 6 weeks with 100% recovery, no rehab. The power of nutrition. And even the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, you know, they recommended or endorsed the Neolife salmon oil because it was tested for 200 contaminants with an allowance of 0, no mercury, no lead, no toxins. Really, really important. So again, was proven to clinically proven to reduce the inflammatory index by 68% in just 8 weeks. And again, tested for over 200 contaminants. So when you're looking at our kids, you're getting Liquivite, Vita Squares, VitaGuard, omega-3, and the protein shake. And now this is.
Do you like your salmon oil, Marley? Yeah. How do you eat it?
Chew.
You chew it? What are you chewing right now?
A hard vitamin.
A hard vitamin? Do you like the salmon oil? Yeah.
I had to share that because when parents say, oh, my kids don't like it, it's fishy. But Courtney did an awesome thing. She had them chewing it when they were little. And oh my gosh, there's so many ways you can get this in them. I had my kids swallowing it at a very young age. If I knew they could chew it, I would have tried earlier. But you can squeeze it, put it in the Liquivite, hide it in their food. So there's definitely ways of getting it in there. But then let's look at our teens. I mean, the teens dietary guidelines and the RDAs, they're just not meeting, you know, what they need to be eating every single day, especially when you're looking at the fruits and veggies and whole grains. And I mean, especially with girls. So let's look at, actually, I don't think Shawn is on. She had a power failure from the storm. I don't see her. Do you see her, guys? Sorry, because she said she's going to try to jump on. No power. So I'm going to have Shawn. Luckily, we had a backup. So here's Shawn sharing her son's story.
Products since he was born. When he was little, he had a lot of hearing issues and had a lot of hearing tests done. We noticed that his hearing would get worse in the spring. So when he was about 10 years old, I reached out to Nada to figure out what else we could give him to try to combat those allergies that I thought that his hearing issues were linked to. He started taking one of each of the Formula 4 carotenoids, Super B, Vitamin E, Vitamin A, and BetaGuard. His allergies were more under control, and he didn't seem to have the hearing issues that he did prior. In February of 2020, when he was 16, he was getting run down due to his schedule, his schooling, sports, girlfriends, that sort of thing. After 3 weeks of him not getting any better, I reached out to Nada because his doctor said that he had tonsillitis and prescribed antibiotics. However, the antibiotics weren't working and he kept getting worse. They then tested him for mono. We wouldn't get the results for 3 days, so Nada suggested that we give him 6 carotenoids and 2 Formula 4, along with everything else that he was already taking. So after just 2 doses of that regimen, the next morning, he was up and he was moving around. He wasn't able to get out of bed for the 4 days prior to that. He was making his own food. He felt great. The results of the mono were that he was positive for mono. So I'm just thankful that we have these products in our life and that he was able to recover so quickly from mono. Thank you.
And I don't know if you guys know what mono is, but mono is once you have it, it's a virus that you always stays in your body. And as long as your immune system is strong, you'll have no symptoms. And I had to show you this fridge picture because I don't know if you guys have ever been to some of the university or college kids' dorms. When I dropped Jack off at college when he first went in Barrie many years ago, I wanted to help him and, bring stuff in. And I opened up the fridge. It looked kind of like this, but there's a few other goodies in there, which I know you guys are what I'm talking about. But it was a lot like this, a lot of processed things that loaded with sugar. So our kids, they're really lacking, especially when they go away to school. So we got to find a way to get these nutrients into our kids when they're away. And, the adolescents, their needs are greater. They're active, they're focusing, they're in school, and they need energy. And so Shawn mentioned the Formula 4. The Formula 4 is like a multivitamin with iron. And then there's a Formula 4 Plus, which is a multivitamin without iron. But what's really neat about this product, there's the grain oils, those essential lipids in phytosterols are in that product, both Formula 4, and also in our Vitality Pack, which is very popular, that some of you are familiar with as well. And then this is my son, Luke. I have to say that he is very, very passionate about the products, especially the Salmonol. And this is Jack when they were playing basketball. So they're very involved in sports. And Luke had so many sports injuries, and so did Jack. Concussions and ankle and wrists, and oh my gosh, the injuries these kids had. I was so surprised. But this is one product that they have not stopped taking, the Pro Vitality Pack. And one of these little vitamin packs, like if you take 1 pack a day in 1 month, it's equivalent to consuming 12 pounds of whole grains, 80 pounds of raw fruits and veggies, and 10 servings of omega-3 fish in every single box. So powerful. And Luke's going to share some of the injuries that he's had in his sporting career and how these products helped him.
Here, I want to share with you is an ankle injury that he had before his first football game of the season a couple of years ago, where he tripped and his ankle just swelled right up. And I remember when the trainer took him off the field, and he just looked at Luke and said, "Oh gosh, Luke, like this looks like a really serious sprain. You'd probably be out about 4 to 6 weeks." And we were just devastated. Again, his first football game of the season. And when I walked over to him and they were carrying him on a stretcher, I just said, "Luke," he goes, "Mom," he goes, "just tell me what to take." So we did, Luke has always been on the supplements since he was a baby. The Pro Vitality is something he takes regularly, in the protein shake. And the protein shake is a given. It's a natural healer. Protein does a lot of tissue repair, cell repair, muscle repair. But during injury, one thing that we increased that was in the Pro Vitality was the fish oil, the salmon oil plus. We increased the salmon oil plus to 12 salmon oil a day. I have to share with you that the following week, he did have to tape his ankle. He didn't play a full practice. He watched on the sideline. But the week after that, he played the entire game. So incredible results with reducing inflammation. And the studies that was done on the Neolife Salmon Oil Plus was published in a medical journal to reduce inflammation 68% in just 8 weeks by just taking 3 salmon oil a day. So by taking 12 of these little capsules a day, we were able to bring the inflammation down faster, and he was able to heal faster. So powerful product for healing. Another product that we increased was our Full Motion, which is a food-grade glucosamine that also reduces inflammation, but helps to regenerate and rebuild cartilage. So those are the 2 main products for healing, recovery, injury, sprains, things like that. Now for the concussion, Luke actually was snowboarding and he fell flat on his face. His goggles actually pushed back and one of his eyes was actually pushed in. We actually had to take him to eye specialist. He did have a concussion. And again, we were very concerned. Go-to products, fish oil, a lot of protein, increase the Vitality Pack, again, strengthening the immune system. But it's incredible how by reducing inflammation in the body, your body heals so much faster. So we've seen it happen with athletes, and I'm very grateful. I know Luke's very grateful for having the products. So he's just going to share a little bit, just a few minutes on how the products have impacted his athletic career. Hey, Luke. We're in Kingston at your basketball tournament, and you just had an awesome breakfast with vanilla Neolife shake along with your Pro Vitality.
Yep.
Do you just want to share a little bit of your experience with the Neolife products?
So I guess start off with the shakes. I've been drinking those every morning since I don't even know how old. I don't remember when I first started, but it's amazing. It helps me get up every morning, and you really notice that kids are tired at school every single morning, and they never eat breakfast. And that's one big thing, is that my mom always makes me a nice breakfast with my shake. Always keeps me awake for the whole day. And also other products, just like we were saying about my injuries. My concussion, actually, for snowboarding, I fractured my skull, the orbital bone of my skull, and it was pretty bad because there was a hole going directly from my airways to my eyes. So when I breathe, my eye would pop out. But like I've healed so quickly with the products that my mom gave me that I was shocked, and the doctors were too, actually. That they didn't have to do any surgery. It just naturally healed up and everything was fine. And same thing with my ankle injury. That recovery was insanely fast. My coach, they were all just in shock that I was playing the very next game, actually. So yeah, quick recoveries. I love this stuff. It does magic. I'm not joking, guys.
And I have to say, he's in Miami now sharing the products with everybody he knows out there. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then you guys know my nephew, Nash. You heard his story. The mental health is so important as well. I'm here with my nephew, Nash, and he just shared something personal with me today. And I just wanted for him to share it from his heart. Nash.
Hi guys. So I've been on Pro Vitality most of my life because of my aunt. She's always had us on the products. Because of personal reasons and COVID and everything, I stopped my auto ship for about 8 months. And about 4 months in, I started feeling like severe anxiety at work and at home. And I've never had any sort of issues with that in my entire life. So it was really weird. I almost had to go on stress leave for several months because of this. And one day I realized that I hadn't been eating properly or taking my Pro Vitality or my protein shakes in the morning anymore. So I asked my mom if she had any on her. I think I was 2 weeks in and all my anxiety was gone.
So that's where the mental health piece comes in, the nutrition, right, plays such a big role. Now let's talk about stamina, endurance, circulation, a new product that we launched in July for brain power, immune health, again, inflammatory response, our new Upbeat. It boosts nitric oxide levels, supports cardiovascular health, increases stamina and endurance, and improves energy and fitness. And I have the pleasure of, some of you know Francis, Peter, I don't know if you can put your video on. People would love to see your face as you share your amazing story. And we have I've heard your story on a video, but it's so nice to have you live. So if you can share your Upbeat experience, that'd be wonderful.
Hi, Nada. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Peter, and I live in Bolton, and my mom met Nada a few months ago. I think it's been about 4 months. Nada gave my mom all the products, and I've been taking them since then. But one especially that I've really noticed a difference, like pretty much immediately after I took it, was Upbeat. So I've been playing hockey all my life. Since I was really young, I've been playing, and I've never had the best cardio, the best endurance. I've always been one of the most tired kids on my team between shifts. I wouldn't have as much energy as the rest of my teammates near the end of the game. I would always be tired. And this has been like going on pretty much my whole life. It's always been like that. And this year especially, for some reason, I've just been feeling really tired the whole year. And then when I started taking Upbeat about 4 months ago, immediately I noticed a difference the first time I took it. So I took it right before my game, and actually it was a practice the first time I took it, right before my practice, and I had energy through the whole practice. I've never had that before. I usually was tired at the end of the practice. This time I wasn't tired. I was like in the during the breaks between drills, I was just skating around. I had so much energy. It was amazing. And then I took it before the next game, and I've been taking it ever since because of how like the wonders it's worked in terms of my cardio and stamina. I've been able to like play the whole game without feeling nearly as tired as I did before. I have pretty much just as much energy in the third period as I do in the first period. Um, I'm just so energized, especially after shifts. When I get on the bench, I recover super quick. And then the next shift, I don't feel tired from the previous shift. So it's really good with recovery and it's really good with endurance. And I'm so grateful to be taking the product. So grateful that Nada shared that with my mom, who shared it with me, because it's really helped so much. Yeah, it's so good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Peter. Really, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing this, because I think it's so important for young people, and even some of the parents that are out there to know that there's other things that they can give their kids other than some of those energy drinks and the stimulants that some of the kids are taking. So thank you again for taking the
Yeah.
time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. So take care of yourself, bud.
Okay. See you.
Thank you. So Maryellen, what are some of the other stack-on products that we have for our kids?
Yeah, the All-C is a great product. It's a chewable. It tastes so good. The kids love it, and they're getting their vitamin C, which is so important for for preventing colds and flus, and even shortening the duration. And this is cherry flavored. Like I said, it tastes good. Each tablet is equivalent to 4 oranges. You get everything except the water, but it also has the rose hips and acerola cherries, which are very rich sources of vitamin C, and the Neoplex concentrate. So as I mentioned, it's everything from the orange but the water. So it's a great thing to help immunity and help our kids stay healthy. My grandkids love it. They chew these every single day.
Mm-hmm. You have to hide the bottle sometimes.
That's right, you do.
Tastes so good. Sorry.
And now we want to talk a little bit about healthy gut, healthy you, because as you know, 80% of our immune system is from our digestive system. And when it's out of whack, it knocks everything in the body out. So what are some of the benefits of probiotics? You hear that term a lot now. It strengthens immunity, so naturally guards against infection by improving innate immunity. It also promotes a healthy response to foods in infants and children, reducing allergy symptoms. Because we talked about all those kids that have so many allergies. Well, what I find is sometimes when they get on a good probiotic, they're not as sensitive to the foods. It also discourages the growth of disease-causing bacteria, and it promotes healthy colon, reduces the risk of colon cancer. Also, I find you add this with our aloe, it is so amazing for kids with constipation. I've had a lot of kids who had chronic long-term constipation, and by doing the acidophilus and the aloe for about 3-4 weeks, it rebalances their gut, and they gets rid of all the issues after having so many really severe problems.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference with the Neolife acidophilus is because there's a lot of probiotics out there, right? It's their exclusive gel guard, because what that means is that the bacteria actually gets down into the gut. Like I see products that have like billions of listed on the label, but that's at manufacture. That doesn't mean that those good bacteria actually get right down into the area we need it. And Neolife has a mechanical stomach, so they test all the products. And most of them are destroyed in the stomach acid. They don't get down there, where this is 99.9% target delivery. So it's very, very unique, and it works. So if you think about it, people say, well, can I just get my acidophilus from yogurt? Well, you can get it if it actually has the live bacteria in it and actually gets down into the right area. But think about it, you need one of our acidophilus is equivalent to 10 servings of yogurt. So I know when I put someone on a candida cleanse, they may be on 6 acidophilus a day. You do have to eat a heck of a lot of yogurt to get all that, right? Mm. And then one of my faves, the aloe vera juice, right? Aloe has helped with so many things. As I mentioned, constipation, immune system. It helps with blood sugar levels, respiratory support. I had a little boy who had this cough for 3 months. The The mom could every night cough, cough, cough. We just started giving him a little bit of aloe before bed, and within about 2 weeks, his cough disappeared. So there's so many, soothes digestion, a lot of kids with tummy issues. It's wonderful for that. Skin issues, promotes healing. There's so many benefits to the aloe. It reduces inflammation. And what's the difference with the Neolife aloe? Because you see they have them in grocery stores, they have it all over the place. Most of the aloe squish the whole plant. So you get all the toxins in the outer leaf. Well, this is a gel only. It also has a herbal tea blend of 3 different herbs that are good for digestion, vitality. It's naturally sweetened. It has a little bit of vitamin C, and it's got some electrolytes in there, like potassium and magnesium. So it's great for kids even when they're working out as well. It's a really good quality. And they use the gel portion only. And we've got a very good story. I'd like to ask my dear friend Susan to share the story about her son when he was suffering from eczema. Susan, can you come on, please?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Maryellen. As Maryellen mentioned, my son was starting to have a lot of health issues when he started to play hockey. And there was a few things, like he was losing his hair. He was had a lot of nosebleeds, but he had eczema on his hands that were really like it was actually his hands and feet, and he was actually peeling the skin off within 5 minutes in the bathtub. His skin would just shrivel up like an old man, and he would actually peel the skin off peel the skin off. So I was spending so much time and energy at the doctors, and all what they would do was put him on different prescriptions for, I think it was cortisone, and even some of them made it worse. But so it was about the same time that I met Maryellen, and she introduced me to Neolife, and we started Michael on originally just on the Vita Squares, VitaGuard, and the shake. It's really helping. His hair came back. His nosebleeds stopped. His eczema was better, but it was not completely gone. So she suggested put him on aloe, and all I did was put him on one ounce a night, and within 1 week he was completely cleared. And after taking 9, it took me to 9. I was taking, well, it was 9 months going back and forth to the doctors. But with 1 week on aloe, he was completely cleared his skin, and he has no problems with it now. So, yeah, so really, we all take it anyways. We all love it, but it's great for a lot of different things, like Maryellen said.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Susan. That's such a great story. It's so nice to hear that. And another issue we have is lack of vitamin D, especially it's so dark in North America. And if we're not out in the sun for 20 minutes, like every day with bare skin, we are not getting the vitamin D that we need. And Neolife has an amazing vitamin D that's naturally sourced, whole food based. And it's not just for vegans. But what's nice, it's not made from sheep wool, which is lanolin, which most products are sourced from. It's actually made from reindeer lichen and from mushrooms. So it's a natural product, which works really well. And I know my clients, their blood levels of vitamin D come up really, really fast once they start taking it. And now, did you want to share about how we can take this delicious tray every night?
You know what I found, Maryellen? I know we talk about a lot of products, but sometimes if kids are really struggling with immunity, sometimes they need a little bit more. And this tray, a liquid drink, is something that is so powerful, made with pomegranate, acai berry, green tea, and it's just has all the nutrients in there, like 6 times more powerful than eating 6 cups of spinach. So it's just wonderful for the immune system. And my sister found that her son, this is one product that really helps her to keep his immune system strong, and her kids. So I'm here with my sister Diana, and she's going to share her journey with her kids and the power of the amazing supplements that Neolife has to offer. Hi, Diana.
Hi. Hi, everyone. My kids have been on the product since they were very young. They took all of the children's supplements, and they were taking also the protein shake. They're 11 and 10 right now. And I have to say that they don't miss a day. it's helped them a lot with their immunity. They get over their colds when they do get colds because they don't have a perfect diet. Like all kids, it's a struggle sometimes to get them to eat their vegetables, to get them to, like just eat properly. And sugar is always an issue. Like I think it's hard with all children because it's everywhere. So I find that since we've added since they've taken the supplements, their colds, and if they do get a cold, because it does happen, especially after like the last few years and they were away from so many people, they their colds don't last very long. And we added the tray juice for my son, who always seemed to have a lot of sniffles. Like he'd get more prone to having the sniffles or just a stuffy nose. And the tray, I find with him, it really, really wipes that out. He doesn't get the sniffly nose or the stuffy nose. Hardly ever. And then their colds don't last very long. And I've never had to take them to the doctor for a cold. Like it's always just been, a couple of days. Dwayne's great. Like a few days, he might have a stuffy nose and stuff, and then he's fine. So I find that the supplements really, really are a lifesaver for us, and they've just been a way of life for us. And it just has really helped us just maintain their immune systems. And I'm really, really grateful for that. So
Awesome. So,
continue.
yeah, I've seen, the challenges that she's had with the picky eater. and Maryellen, when you're looking at supplements, some of the challenges we have that's out there.
I know there is so many products out there, and everybody says their product is the best. And people think just because something is in a store, it's safe. Well, as you can see, researchers here found that from 2007 to 2016, they tested 776 products. And what did they contain? Hidden active ingredients that were unsafe or unstudied. So just because something's on a store shelf does not mean it's safe. There's actually a criteria that you have to look at to know. And I know when I was introduced to Neolife, I really felt it was a name I could trust. The fact that it had been around since 1958, never had a dietary recall. They have a pharmaceutical license, which means they go over and above. They don't have to do that, but for manufacturing, they actually have that. They're in over 50 countries around the world. They meet or exceed all the health standards of all those countries. And the whole philosophy is based in nature, but backed by science, because food is our medicine. There's intrinsic factors in food that help us, right? And when people say, well, what do I look for in a supplement? Well, just because it says it's natural does not mean that it's safe, because anything from the ground is natural. What we're missing in our diet is those things that were stated in that Lancet study that actually says that it's not what we're eating, but we're not eating that's killing us, because we're lacking whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and wild salmon. And that's what Neolife makes their products from. And the reason it has this high quality control is because of the Scientific Advisory Board, founded by Dr. Arthur First, one of the top toxicologists in the world. He actually was a co-founder of oral chemotherapy, and when he was doing his research in cancer, he found nutrients in food that prevent disease, and not just cancer, all diseases. And that's why he joined up with Neolife, because their whole food philosophy and set up our prestigious Scientific Advisory Board of world-renowned scientists and nutrition experts. And these people, they have their name on the line, and they represent our products, and they are involved in the research and development of the products too. They're not just a good-looking doctor who endorses the product. And the products have been independently tested and published in peer-reviewed journals to prove that they work. And this is one of the big differences, because I see a lot of people show me labels, they look okay, but they're not getting the results they want. And this is the Neolife difference.
Sorry.
Yeah. And what a big important thing for children too is to have a healthy environment with Neolife, because there's so many toxins in our water. And what can we do? Drink, like I talked about, purified water, use chemical-free moisturizers, be careful with medication, only use as absolutely necessary, eat a clean diet, and environmentally safe cleaners. This was one of the first things I did because of my son's allergies, is I actually took all the cleaning products in our house and got rid of them and replaced them with these 3 products. The LDC is a light duty cleaner. I wash all my fruits and vegetables, any light duty cleaning in the house. The Super 10, I clean my shower. You can put it right in there. You can clean it while you're having a shower. It's so safe. Floors, any heavy duty cleaning, laundry. And with a lot of my kids with eczema, I find the G1 makes a huge difference because you think you're sleeping in the sheets and everything, and you start using the laundry compound, and it makes. I had one gentleman and his kids did so well. All their eczema got under control, but it would flare once in a while. And they're going, they couldn't figure it out. It was because when they went and slept at grandma's house, she wasn't using the G1. So then they gave her the detergent as well, and it solved the problem. So it made a big difference. And the LDC is so safe that it was actually involved in one of the largest rescues. There was 25,000 penguins coated in crude oil. It was the only thing that they would use that was safe enough to remove the oil and save the birds. So it's an amazing product. That's a really cool story. And I will say parents do make a difference because, you know, you can talk to your kids till you're blue in the face, but you have to walk the walk. Your children will become what you are. So be what you want them to be. And that's a quote from David Bly. And Anna, do you want to share how people can get their hands on these products?
Absolutely. So we have a wellness club, and to join our club, it's free. And as soon as you join, you get 10% off. We can even double your savings and get 20% off. And just by going on what we call a NeoShip or monthly order. And what's really neat about that, you get all your shipping back in 6 months for being such a loyal customer. And we can even help you get some of the products for free. We have a referral program. We also have different challenges like fitness challenges and weight loss challenges for some of you that are looking at improving your own health, your fitness level, and maybe reducing some of that body fat. So just ask us and we can share our Proven 33 program and our weight loss solution and how that works as well. And these are the different health solutions that we have, the Vitality Pack, the breakfast solution, and our weight loss solution. And if you're curious about, you know, more stories or seeing, you know, how these products are impacting people all over North America, we do have a group on Facebook, and there's over 10,000 members in this group where people share their stories and their journey and the testimonials. So we could invite you to this group once we're Facebook friends, and you can just see the power of good nutrition and the role it plays in our health. And when you look at the superior products that are based in nature and backed by science, like Maryellen just finished, I don't know of any other company that does this. So we're so grateful. It's such an honor to work alongside such an incredible company and share such powerful products. And then there is one more option. I mean, I was not looking for an income opportunity or a business to change my career. But when I saw the impact that these products made on myself and my mom and my sisters and my family, I got really excited and just started sharing. So if you or someone you know really enjoys helping others, there's a great income opportunity that comes alongside with this incredible company. And, you know, you can join for free, try the products, see what they do. And if you decide to partner with us to really have an impact in people's lives, just ask. We work together as a team. You don't do this alone. And if you just want to learn more, what's really nice is we do something like this every Thursday. We pick a specific topic and we share some powerful information on many different health challenges that are going on all over North America. So I do want to thank you. I want to thank everyone that shared their amazing testimonials tonight, because it's really the stories that impact people's lives. And I want to thank you for taking the time out to listen. I will stop the recording and open up to any questions that you may have. So thank you again for joining us. And I did record this. So for those of you that would like the recording, just reach out and we'll send it to you. So thank you so much.